For the longest time now, if I were to recommend something in the $50 price point and I couldn't go up to $70, then it had to be the Truth Here Critical Project Red. It's very good. It's tuned so well, but there's always been a flip side to that coin, and that is that it's a chonker. It is huge. It's massive in the bigger even than your mom. As difficult as that might be, it's true. And how do you divorce those things? Not your mom. Divorce the fact that on the one hand, it sounds really good, but on the other hand, for a thing that's made to fit people's ears, it doesn't fit most people's ears. That's ridiculous. Like, at that point, you have to ask yourself, what are we even doing here? Well, today's IEM aims to solve that problem. Wait, before we start, I forgot to mention this in the video. Giveaway. Later in this video, there's a giveaway. This IEM will be given away. Okay, back to the video. We're talking about the Kefine Klean. That's clean with a K, not a C. Don't ask me. Go ask Kefine, okay? It's not, I don't know. Having said that, if it was clean with a C, that would be pretty lame. So maybe they got it right. I don't know. Look, that's not the point. Point is, this is $50. It's very comfortable in the ear. It's a smaller, slimmer case than I have seen in most IEMs out there, and that makes it very, very comfortable in the ear. Not only that, unlike the Kefine Delci before it, which had the short nozzles which didn't quite lodge in your ear that well, this one's got a slightly longer nozzle. I'm wearing it right now. It lodges in your ear really well. It's very secure in the fit, and it is nice and slim in the ear. This thing is so much better in your ear. But you know, there are a lot of IEMs that are better in the ear than the Clinical Zero Red. It's going to take more than that to make it a recommendation. Luckily, the Klean has more than that. Now, it does come with an extra set of filters as well. We'll talk about that in a second. And it comes with a case, it comes with a 2-pin cable, and that's it, nothing else. And to be honest, I don't really care about the other stuff. It's about the sound, so let's talk about it. Now, this is the frequency response, and if you don't know how to read that, that's okay. I'm going to be talking about the sound anyway, but basically, you've got frequency on the x-axis here, you've got amplitude on the y-axis, and what that means is if the curve you see is raised in any part of the graph, then it means the frequencies in that part of the graph are more emphasized. So in this case, you see the bass is up, that means the bass is emphasized. And it is, for most IEMs, it has to be to make it sound relatively natural and, you know, having some impact. Now, the thing is, a lot of IEMs overdo this and they have way too much impact. In fact, every IEM out there, Bluetooth or otherwise, that you're going to get now emphasizes bass to a bit of an unnatural degree. And in that sense, the Kefine Klean actually reins it back a little bit. It is still emphasized, it's still, you know, a little bass forward, but not to the point where you're wondering why everything is dominated by the bass, which is actually quite good. It's quite refreshing, and I think they've done a good job. Now, this is just a single dynamic driver, but I found the bass to be reasonably punchy, having impact, having a reasonable amount of detail as well, and good extension into the sub bass. This is good. Now, they also emphasize the lower mids a bit, and that's to give, you know, vocals and guitars a little more grunge, a little more gravitas, but without adding any muddiness to the mix. So the sound still remains quite clear sounding, but it doesn't lack that lower mid emphasis, which I appreciate that, I really do. Now, moving on to the mids and the highs, here's where we see a little bit of perhaps overemphasis, because you've got your vocals, you've got your treble, but everything has a little bit of a, let's call it sparkly edge. But the fact is, if you're being critical about it, like me as a reviewer, I have to be, then it has a little bit of a sharp metallic edge. Not too much, not so much that it offends, but if you're very particular, this is where I think the Truth Here Red was a little bit better tuned and smoother and just better in timbre as well. This one is a little bit odd, and you could argue that it adds a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of detail to the mix every time, you know, guitar strings are strummed. That's the word I was looking for. But in my opinion, it could have been reined back a little. Still, it's not to the point where it gets super offensive. There's no sibilance, there's no spike in the treble, none of that is there. It's just a nice, even emphasis in the upper mid and the treble, and therefore I'm just going to call it a flavor and tuning choice rather than an aberration. To that end, I think they've done really, really well, because a treble comes across very clearly and there's a great sense of spaciousness in what you hear as well. Not to mention very good imaging. Like, it's genuinely good. And all this from a single dynamic driver. So what you have is something that sounds slightly treble tilted, that is tilted towards emphasizing the treble, but well compensated with the bass without sounding overly V-shaped or overly, punchy and unnatural. Basically, a thing that has flavor, but flavor tuned pretty well for the most part. And all of that from a single dynamic driver, all of that in a package that fits really well in the ear and is ergonomically actually good, and also comes with an additional set of filters to boot. That's right, the default filters are white and the other one is gold and black, but I wouldn't recommend it. The black filter emphasizes everything that I am already worried it emphasizes. The treble basically goes into hyper mode, and it's a bit too much. It's just way too much. If you like a more metallic treble and mid-forward presentation, if you like that kind of unnatural timbre, then sure, go for it. But for my preferences at least, I would not recommend the black filters. I just keep it on the default, because what you're getting is something that's really well tuned, something that's very ergonomic, and something that comes in at under $50. I mean, that fits a lot of boxes. This is an easy recommend. There are links in the description if you want to buy it. They are not affiliate links, but this person has just won a pair. That's right. My Patreons, my members get automatically enrolled into giveaways, and this one will be shipped out to you. Get in touch with me on Discord, and for those of you who are not members yet, become a member. It's not expensive, but you do get to support the channel, and in return, a few times a year, I send things out to one or more of you. Okay, that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Stay happy, stay peaceful, stay colorful. Namaste.